Joining me this morning is Patrick Stern, Alder from District 2. Pat, good morning.
Morning.
We decided it was going to be Pat and not Patrick, and I blew it right out of the gate.
That's okay.
Called you Patrick. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the show. Have you ever seen the show?
I have. I watched the first one.
Well, thank God. It went downhill from there, so
good.
You didn't miss anything exciting. No, just kidding. So, Pat, you've been in Alder now for 5 years here. That's as long as I've been here.
I have. It just started when I started to get interested and kind of went from there, and 5 years later, I'm still here.
And you have some hair left. That's usually, or gray hairs kind of kick in.
Yep. Well, I was the baby on the council then. Everyone was at least twice as old as I was, and now there are 2 younger members. So now I felt like I'm becoming an old dog much quicker than everybody else did.
Well, let's start off with talking about lay out what District 2,
Sure. So District 2 is, and it's changed over the time because we redistricted that I first got elected to now, but basically if you took almost everything between Seminole, Fish Hatchery, and Lacey Road, so the middle of town, that would be District 2. Now, there are some incursions and exceptions in here, there, and the other way, especially as you get north. Cops is really the end of my district to the north side, but the Madison boundary, by and large, on the north, and then the established middle of town is District 2.
And you got everything in District 2. I mean, you really
full service.
You're kind of saying that District 2 is completed at this point. I mean, you guys are pretty well set. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's a couple of just some remnant lots here and there for whether it's commercial or residential, but by and large, everything's built out, and everything's established. So there's turnover obviously in the district, but a house might burn down on your block couple of times since you've moved in, but
right.
Which is funny. It's my block where in 2008 I had moved in, and then a house blew up on my street.
Jeez.
And then right next door, this last month, the house next door to that just partially burned down. So I'm waiting to see if the next house in line burns down, and then we know we have a real problem.
You may want to just start doing door to door and
just every night, just smell check.
Yeah. Make sure you have a CO alarm and
Yep.
Jeez. Well then, there's your excitement in District 2.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jeez Louise. All right. Well, there's two newer businesses in the Hatchery Hill area.
Yeah.
And maybe you can talk a little bit about those.
Yeah, a little bit. The first one's it's a commercial retail space. It does it's called Bricks and Minifigs. He's actually gotten quite a bit of newspaper coverage on his own already, obviously, but he sells both new Lego sets and also sort of bulk selling of just piles of Lego pieces and other
stuff.
Yeah, I was trying to say assembling kit piece type things, but that's not a very eloquent way to put it.
Bricks. How about we'll just leave it at that?
Yes, he sells
accessories
and minifigs. But we were actually in there just recently. I bought a Christmas set for my wife for Christmas, and I hope she doesn't watch and find out that that's going to be on the tree. But
whoops.
So that space used to be the part of Bergman's pharmacy.
I was going to say, I remember it being the pharmacy.
Right.
And I think there was another business in there before that, too. Maybe it was on the other side.
Yeah, so they didn't take over the space, the cigar bar.
Yeah.
That space is still open and leasable, but it's an interesting model because they have so there's a third thing that they sell in there that I didn't realize is completed sets.
So somebody builds them. Right. And you just walk in and
buy them for a premium, which was interesting. But I thought about it because I grew up in an age where I did Legos, right? And right when I stopped, they started doing like the Star Wars collectible, like really big, like 40,000 piece sets.
Right.
And those kind of were like Beanie Babies, right? So collectible, expensive if you sold them later on, just like if you kept your Han Solo from 1979 in its packaging.
You're rich right now, right?
Well, because I was looking, because it was like 3 or 4 times what you would have initially paid for it fully assembled.
Wow.
I know, and I was like, whoa, this is a market that I did not understand existed. And it's funny every time you come across something like that where it's just like, I had no idea.
There's
And
that's
I could have apparently been turning this into a profit-making enterprise, but I wasn't smart enough to think about that.
yeah. And that's why we're sitting here at Talking Fitchburg, because
Yes.
we haven't come up with the latest and greatest. All right, talk about Soho too, because
Yeah.
we've been up there and had them on the show as well. It's a really great restaurant.
Yeah. So Soho Gourmet Cuisine, it's sort of a Asian-American fusion. I just actually ate lunch there today, happens to be. It's dumplings, rice dishes, soups, salads kind of stuff. It took over, it's where the Cousins used to be, so it's been a while since something's been in there, but the space in that mall kind of makes it interesting because there are, usually when you sign a retail contract, you have exclusives for this, that, or the other that you sell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Panera covers so many of those that it's difficult for other restaurants to come in. So there are others that have been interested, but just because of that kind of lease mix, you can't do it. So this is one that fits nicely into there. It's a little bit different. It's kind of fast casual, but really good. So I just...
Price is right. We had lunch there too, and Price is right, and I can't come up with the owner's name. Andrew, help me out. What was the owner's name? His nickname? Do you remember? Rocky.
Yes.
Yeah. He gave us the tour there and the background on it. So pretty cool restaurant, and he still has the food cards as well.
Yep.
So
yeah, and that's how
all
it
over
started,
the
was
place.
food cart then restaurant. So it's sort of
Yeah.
a proven concept at that point. So everyone should check it out.
All right, Pat, where can people get a hold of you if they want to learn a little bit more information about what's going on?
Absolutely. So I have a city email. Obviously, it's patrick.stern@Fitchburgwi.gov. It's on the screen. Thank you. I don't type it out very often.
That's all right. All right. Yeah, makes sense.
I've got a cell phone. I always answer calls on that. It's 608-335-2455.
And of course, all this information is on the city's website
On the
as well,
city's website as
under
well.
the council page, so you can find your information there.
Right.
All right, Pat. Well, we'll watch you on TV here through the council meetings and your committee meetings as well.
Yeah.
We appreciate you taking the time,
No problem.
and have a good holiday.
You too.
All right.
Thanks.
We'll be right back. It's Talking Fitchburg.